Well, it is fast becoming one of the most interesting rivalries on the campaign trail.
Yeah, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio are battling for the voters that Donald Trump has yet to claim. CNN's Ryan Noble's live in Washington, D.C. with more on how this fight is getting ugly. Ryan.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, they've never really been that close to begin with, but now they are in direct competition, and they're both trying to gain an advantage over the sticky issue of immigration.
Ted Cruz believes he has found a weakness in Marco Rubio's campaign, and he is putting it directly in front of voters in Iowa.
Securing our borders and stopping illegal immigration is a matter of national security. That's why I fought so hard to defeat President Obama and the Republican establishment's Gang of Eight amnesty plan.
Rubio was a member of that Gang of Eight, and in the picture Cruz flashes up in this ad airing in the first voting state, Rubio is standing near New York Democrat Chuck Schumer. Cruz is hoping to convince conservative voters that the Florida senator is on the wrong side of the hot-button issue of immigration. But Rubio is saying, not so fast.
He never brings up his support of legalization in Iowa or in his stump speeches, but he supports legalization.
Rubio rejected Cruz's claim that he supports amnesty and countered with Cruz's own Senate vote on a measure that would have allowed a path to legal status for undocumented immigrants.
I think his hope was, once he got into the general election, to then start talking about legalization as a way to attract more voters.
Cruz argues his vote was designed to give him a tool to later kill the Rubio-supported Gang of Eight bill, and that he has never supported legalization.
I opposed and led the fight to defeat the Gang of Eight bill. Marco Rubio authored and led the unsuccessful fight to pass the Gang of Eight bill.
And while the two men turn up the heat, the candidate that gets the best of this battle could be in an important position as voters in Iowa make up their minds.
And you know, there are a lot of voters out there who have yet to make up their minds. In fact, in Iowa alone, the last CNN ORC poll there showed that only 26% of the voters surveyed had said, yes, I know for 100% certainty who I'm going to support for president. That means there are more than 2/3 of the voters there yet to make up their mind. Stephen Easties, this could mean that there could be a lot of movement in these polls over the next couple of weeks.
Certainly, Ryan. And let's chat about something else really quickly. The Democratic Party is accusing the Bernie Sanders campaign of stealing voter data. Explain really quickly what's happening with this controversy.
I'll try and be as quick as possible because it's a little complicated, but essentially the DNC has a master voter list that both the Clinton and Sanders campaigns had access to. When a staffer from the Sanders campaign went into that voter file, he noticed a security breach that allowed him to get into the Clinton database that the Sanders campaign wasn't supposed to have access to. He actually copied some of the data from that file. Now, the Sanders campaign told the DNC the only reason he copied it was so that they could demonstrate that the firewall had been broken down. The DNC is not buying it. They have shut off access by the Sanders campaign to this file. The Sanders campaign now filing a lawsuit against the DNC to get that access back. They claim they're losing as much as $600,000 a day by not having access to that voter file because that's their primary way of raising money.